Hello, my little hackmons. Today we have a rant about the mobile game Love Nikki. Don't worry, this is nothing about the actual game itself, it's about the community. It's a wonderful game. I highly recommend it if you love dress-up games, anime girls, anime guys, whatever floats your boat. It's awesome. For those who are not familiar with this game, Love Nikki is a dress-up game in which you dress up a cute little anime girl according to certain themes to win fashion contests. It also has a feature called Starry Corridor, in which you can share your fashion creations with the world. And that is what we're talking about today. I don't know how they've accomplished it, but some people have actually managed to start drama on an anime dress-up game. And one of the biggest drama starters is what the community calls suit stealing, in which you copy another person's exact outfit. People take this incredibly seriously. Like, if you're an alleged suit stealer, then they'll make group posts, which is basically when they tag you in a post and include the girl with the outfit you made. They'll group photo you and say, "Oh my god, they're such a horrible person, they stole my outfit, don't follow them." Now, I can understand it if it's something like art theft, in which you worked really hard on something and then somebody just copied it and is trying to pass it off as their own. But nobody claims ownership of the clothing in this game. It's like, you can't just take a dress and post, "Oh, this is my dress now, no one else can use it." It's all properties of the game itself. Hell, a major part of this game is the outfits that are bundled together because, well, the clothes look good together. A lot of people have the same thoughts about fashion, both in this game and in real life. You know, maybe a large part of the fandom's like, "Hey, this hair looks really pretty with this one dress." And so you see it a lot, you know? Are you gonna whine and cry because you thought of it first? And you can only have so many clothes too. There is a finite number of combinations of clothing in this game. This isn't like a virtual reality world where you literally have full control over your avatar and the sky's the limit. No, this is just a virtual paper doll. And frankly, if you look at it that way, it makes the people complaining about so-called suit stealing look like little children. Remember when you were a little girl and your friend wore the same dress to your birthday party and you threw a fit? This is exactly like the virtual equivalent to that. I don't mean to be rude, but people who care too much about suit stealing need to grow up. This is not the worst thing that can happen to you on the internet. You could be being cyberbullied right now, and this is your biggest concern. So, to sum it up, stop trying to start drama when there isn't any.